Okay, what is up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing good this Friday morning. Week is on very quickly. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, guys, if you are enjoying the content, find it useful, please be sure to drop a like on the channel. It really does help out. And of course, make sure you subscribe there as well so you don't miss any content in the future. And to make sure you really don't, make sure you do go and hit the bell as well so you are notified whenever I do upload or do go live. Make sure you check out the Discord channel for Elevating Traders, completely free to join. Discount opportunities will be available there closer to launch date. So make sure you check that out. And of course, joining into different discussions, trade opportunities, discuss with other traders as well, including myself. So make sure you check it out if you are interested. But guys, welcome back to another stream. More as always, hope you're doing good. Welcome. So yeah, I've still been wrapped up with a few of the yen pairs. Euro USD came close to my level, which I was looking to buy from yesterday, but it's looking a tad bullish at the moment. So I'm unsure if I'll get the move. I'm still looking for a push into this zone here, which is just above 1.086. And I'm looking for price to get into there for a bounce. Now, we've had a nice sell-off yesterday. Really big move just kind of after we ended the stream, really. Yeah, as I think that was caused by the news, actually. So a pretty big move down. Didn't quite hit that area, but we are now looking bullish. So I do think Euro USD has good upside potential. Again, I'm pretty bearish on the dollar, so I'm pretty expecting dollar crosses to be heading to the upside. It's just a little bit awkward with some of the other dollar crosses because not really in good places to buy. Euro USD, although is a decent one, but we might just be missing out on this level. Maybe we do have one more sell-off in us because this move here still looks pretty corrective in my opinion, and generally is pretty corrective as well. So maybe we do have one more push down, which would be very, very nice indeed. And hopefully after that we can see a bigger move higher. But overall, what I'm looking at for Euro is a nice push, pullback, push. Oh, that's a bit too big. Pullback, push, pullback, push. So just continuously moving in that bullish structure. And so far, we are looking pretty good. Just need to see if we can make that move down into that level. Because again, I will map out areas where I want to buy and sell from. And if price is not there, there's not much I can do. Otherwise, I'll start chasing trades and taking trades I'm not supposed to be taking. And that's just not a good place to be in at all. So, yeah, hopefully we got one more move down, but we'll see. Also, you might push up. I'm looking at the DXY as well. Again, pretty corrective on DXY's part 2. Maybe we do have one more push up. We don't really have much dollar news today, if at all, really. I think we do have CAD unemployment rate. We do have CAD unemployment rate. I think that's at 130. So yeah, in terms of dollar, not much really. So I don't know. We might not see much movement today. But hopefully we got another move down. What's up, Daniel? Welcome to the stream. Good evening. Whereabouts are you? Still good morning for me. But yes, I will take a look at NAS 100, no problemo. But yeah, for DXY, hopefully you can see one more push higher. I've talked about this level here as a nice place for a short, which again still corresponds with the Euro USD move. One more push higher, and then hopefully one more push back down. And then, of course, that would translate to Euro pushing down and hopefully push up. But we'll see. We'll see as things develop. But all I know is that my bias is bearish, and I'm expecting a lot more downside for dollar over the next coming days. So hopefully I can trade that. Oh, you're in Sydney. Wow, wicked. Down under. Yeah, I mean, it's still morning over here, but yeah, it's crazy. It's good evening. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for dollar and euro. In terms of NAS 100, so yeah, NAS 100 looking at downside as well. We're starting to come into some nice areas for sells. We did see a brief sell-off from here. Didn't really get going. Nice push down, but failed to make it back to the low. We've pushed back up again, and that still looks like a really nice place for a short, in my opinion, which is this area here around 18,500. So I would still be looking at a sell-off from this level. Now, of course, being aware that possibly we could be looking at reversing bullish at any point. We already had a pretty meaningful down move, so maybe that correction is over. But in terms of a nice place for a short, a good place for a short, this is definitely a nice area for that. I like how price is moving, taking out some of these highs over here. The previous sellers would have the stop loss here. They're being taken out right now, coming back into a fresh level of support, which now will be term resistance. If price does its job there, reacts well, this could be a really nice place for a short. Best case scenario, could swing it back to the low, but you can have some other targets before that, depending on your risk reward, depending on what you're working with as well. But I do still see NAS having a bit of a sell-off. And depending how aggressive you want to be with the positions, you've got some nice targets here to work with as well. But yeah, still a lot of momentum to the downside, but you can see the wick rejection down the daily chart and a pretty strong close there as well. So it might be just a sell-off back to this area, and then price might decide it wants to go bullish again. So I'll keep that in the back of my mind because I know I'm still kind of technically counter trend. But it's still nonetheless a great place for a short. Just let's see how price reacts, because of course we might just break straight through. But that is what I'm looking for. What's up, Justice? Welcome to the stream. Sam, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Gold, we will take a look. No problemo. Yeah, I will. If I'm in a trade, you'll see that somewhere. Or this. I'm not in any positions at the moment, but if I am, you'll see a trade. Now, of course, I'll let you know as well. Antonio, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are well. So yeah, with NAS, that's what I'm looking at, some downside, but I'm kind of expecting to be on the shorter term side of things because I think the bigger move's still up. In terms of gold's pretty bullish yesterday. I wasn't expecting so much of that. I mean, I am looking for dollar to fall, but I didn't really fall much yesterday. It was kind of just like a slow, stagnated move down. Yeah, so it wasn't really a lot of selling pressure there. But gold was bullish nonetheless. I think silver was pretty bullish too. Yeah. So again, if you're just kind of looking at this price action here, it's pretty much a range really for gold. So price isn't moving well. Price isn't moving well. If you expand to the higher time frames like the weekly chart, yeah, there's still a lot of momentum in the market. We had a really exceptional breakout over the past year, and price is still pushing up. So with gold, the narrative, the bias is still very much to the upside bullish. However, just not seeing really good opportunities to trade that. Yesterday, I was talking about push back into the low. I said if you're looking to buy gold, you kind of want to buy low and make sure you position yourself low in the market, because at the moment we're kind of just fluctuating. So you don't want to be buying and selling in these kind of areas here, because it's going to be very, very difficult to get decent trades and not get stopped out by random wicks and stuff like that. You probably could get some decent trades down the low time frames, but you're going to be working a little bit harder. At least here, you essentially know, okay, price is either going to bounce and continue the kind of range we're in, or breaking out and we're going to head a lot lower. So for gold, I'll still have a bullish bias. I'm still looking for us to push back into the high there around 24.80. But in terms of a decent buy, it would still be at the low. I wouldn't try and contest for anything in this area just because it's very, very choppy. And the lower time frames as well. I understand we've got some structure here which could come back and retest, but it's just very, very choppy and it's difficult to find a good trade there. So yeah, the analysis is pretty much still the same as yesterday. Still looking for a push up, but from this area here, we have seen a bit of a move to the upside yesterday. We may come back down and test the level, we may not, but I just wouldn't be looking for entries in this area. It's not really a smart place. Don't want to be looking for entries in the middle of a range. So yeah, gold 23.70 still looks good to me. If we get there, we get there. See what type of price action we can get. Possibly some buys to take it back to the high of the range. But because the higher time frames, the daily, the weekly, is still showing somewhat bullish momentum, as a swing trader, that's kind of the direction I want to be trading in. So yeah, for now, that's kind of my outlook and goal. But realistically, it's very, very choppy conditions right now. Oh, okay. You're new to the channel. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I do go live every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So every weekday I am live from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. And I do cover pretty much all markets, but my main focus is Forex, gold and silver. That's the pairs I trade, but I'll look at indices, crypto, other metals, commodities, pretty much look at everything. So we'll cover analysis. If I'm any trades, I'll share that. And of course, I share my watch list and what opportunities I'm eyeing up at the moment, which I actually will go through in a moment as well. And if anyone wants me to take a look at any markets, just let me know in the chat and I'll share my opinion. But speaking of watch list, let me go through my own. So there's actually quite a few pairs which are just kind of at areas where they could sell off. Because I've had an eye on the JPY pairs a lot this week, and I'm looking to see if I can catch some lower highs. So Euro Yen, I was speaking a lot about this yesterday with the yen pairs having such a corrective move down. We had such a strong push up, and price was very, very corrective on the way down. So I was favoring the yen pairs to break higher, have one more push up before maybe we do get a big sell off. That's kind of what the market's going through right now. CAD yen, same thing there as well. Correct to move. We had the break to the upside. Pound yen, correct to move. Lovely break to the upside. Aussie yen, so on and so forth. Dollar yen, so on and so forth. Swiss yen didn't quite do that. Very correct to move, but didn't eventually break higher. I think Swiss was just quite weak. But yeah, journey for the yen pairs, I'm looking for downside. So nice move up. I'm not selling just yet because we're a little bit choppy in this area here. So I'm kind of seeing if we can push up a little bit and then get the sell maybe this afternoon. There is a level just above us here, so even better if we can push up even more and test that area, although I don't think we will today. That might take us into Monday next week. But I am looking for a lower high somewhere for these yen pairs. Dollar yen especially looks really, really good because we've got that lovely level just above us. And then, yeah, looking for a swing back into the swing low. Still a lot of momentum from the past couple of weeks to the downside. So effectively, I'm just looking to take advantage of that and seeing how far I can take this move. Weekly chart still showing a lot of momentum. Massive level support here. Could see a bit more downside to get into that low. So that could be where price is looking to end up at. But yeah, very, very corrective move up high. So this tells me this is most likely a correction. You can see the momentum we've had in this bearish leg. And price is taking so much longer pushing up, which is meaning this is probably a correction of that bearish leg, and the market's going to probably push down. And again, as traders, all we have to deal with is probabilities at the end of the day. So if the probabilities are in my favor, fantastic. We have to take those trades time and time again. But yeah, for dollar yen, looking for that sell-off, seeing where it can happen. Not interested at the moment, but it's close to it. Pairs like Aussie yen as well in a nice little place too. Maybe push up, sell there. This one's not far away. Already testing some areas we could sell from there too. Euro yen likewise as well. Kind of see another push up higher, then get a sell. Pound yen as well. Although pound yen, some areas, very, very high up. Not too sure we get there, but again, if the yen pair sell off, they kind of sell off together. It's just about picking the best one that fits the plan the best. Risk to reward looks good, entry looks good, and taking that position, not shorting all of them. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the yen pairs. In terms of the CHF pairs, very similar situation. Keeping a very close eye on Aussie CHF because this one has just come into this area here. It hasn't quite come into the wick low. Oh, it has. Beautiful, even better. So I'm looking for a bit more momentum because right now we're kind of just consolidating here for Aussie CHF. So I want to see price kind of break a little bit lower. And if I do see a strong close down the hourly chart, I will look for entries, something like this, stops above the high, and then looking for a swing. Not looking to swing it all the way to the low. Of course, that would be absolutely amazing, looking at like 10 to 1 there. But again, I will have a trading stop loss, so I'll see how far I can take it. But I'm well aware that probably these are the areas where I'll get taken out if things go well. Best case scenario, we're looking at something like that, but we'll wait and see. In terms of an area, Aussie CHF has come back into a lovely level of support. Of course, you can look at the prior market structure, absolute bearish dominance here. And finally, we had a bit of a pullback. So I'm just looking to try and catch that next lower high and see if we can continue. Pound CHF as well, looking pretty good, although the area we're coming into is not as great as Aussie CHF. Brief range here on the lower time frames with that small bullish candle, as you can see, just about test that. But likewise with Aussie CHF, we're kind of just moving sideways here. So want to see price kind of commit lower, and then I'll take a trade. Like that. So yeah, pound CHF, Aussie CHF are the ones I like. Euro I like, but I want to see a bit more upside. I'm looking at the low here, which we're not quite at, although we came very close to. And yeah, New Zealand CHF, I prefer Aussie. So yeah, those are the main pairs I'm looking at. I'm also liking Euro USD longs, but I'm not too sure if I'll get the trade. But we'll wait and see. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. New Zealand yen, we'll take a look. Pound CAD as well. Antonio, keep in mind there's CAD news today. Yes, very, very true. Anyone trading any CAD pairs or in CAD position at the moment, do take note of the CAD news. Unemployment rate is coming out in about 3 hours' time, and that definitely could affect CAD. What's up, Manzoni? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. All right, no problem. We'll have a good one. I appreciate it coming on. Brian, good morning. Yeah, I'm from Botswana as well. Yeah, I was rooting for Tobago, to be honest. I was rooting for him. I didn't think he would win. I thought that Lars was going to win, to be honest. But I wanted Tobago to win, so I was very, very happy when I saw Tobago win. Okay, so New Zealand yen. So yeah, New Zealand yen, again, same kettle of fish, looking for another lower high for another move down. Again, when I say another lower high, I'm really just looking for price to find some resistance and see a move down. It might not end up being a lower high in terms of breaking the lows and continuing, but at least there might be a nice short for us to take advantage of. Even if we move a third of the way down, depending on your entry, you can still be looking at 1-to-1s, 1-to-2s, 1-to-3s, 1-to-4s maybe. It doesn't have to move all the way down for you to hit a nice winning trade. But when I say lower high, I'm just looking for price to find a bit of a top, see some downside, whether it continues all the way down or forms a higher low. We'll find that as price develops. Again, with trading, not really trying to predict what price is going to do. You're just looking for areas of values to short and buy from. And the market does the rest. If it wants to absolutely fly, it will fly. If it wants just to move 5 pips in reverse, it will move 5 pips in reverse. But in terms of where we're trading right now, it's a pretty smart place for a short, coming back into this area here as well. I wouldn't mind it at this level here just above us, but I'm liking how price is moving. Potentially a nice little double top there for a sell. Maybe you have a stronger close here and kind of break out of this mess. That could be a nice entry signal on the hourly chart. Something like this. A little stop loss above the high. And a trade like that could look good. Even just back into that low there. And then if things go better, fantastic. There's a long way down. Best case scenario, maybe 1-to-8s, 1-to-7s. But like I said, it doesn't have to go all the way there for you to hit a successful trade. But where we're trading, the rejection we're seeing is looking good. Just need to see that momentum come through. That's kind of the thing I'm looking for when I do take my entries. I'm looking for momentum. Momentum and rejection. First off, we're already getting rejection. You can see where the wicks we're getting over here. Wicks galore, market slowing down. So we're seeing good rejection. So that box is ticked. Now you can see momentum, bearish momentum from this area, and that would be the entry trigger. And that's kind of what I'm looking at across the board, because a lot of these yen pairs are kind of giving us these double tops. You can see New Zealand yen. Couldn't get my words out. New Zealand yen doing a nice little double top there. Aussie yen sort of doing double top there. Dollar yen double top there as well. Swiss yen no. Pound yen again sort of double top there too. CAD yen double top there as well. So they're all doing the same thing, which is the ironic thing about the yen pairs. If you short one, you're basically shorting them all. So there's no need to sell CAD yen, sell pound yen, sell every single yen, because most likely they'll all play out. So you'd be all in profit or all in loss, really. Just pick the better one and see that one out. But yeah, I like New Zealand yen there. We'll keep a very close eye to see how that develops. Pound CAD I'll take a look at next. Shreyas we'll take a look at Aussie yen as well. Let me just go through pound CAD. So yeah, pound CAD, seeing some upside. We came into a nice area, sort of reacting to that level. There is a bigger level down here, which price could still be drawn to, so I'll keep a note of that. Massive resistance here, 1, almost 2 there, 3, support there as well, around 1.73. So I would keep an eye on that for a buy. But we are pushing up. I still do like the sells with pound CAD. If we were to come back into this area, certainly in a corrective manner, I do think that's still a nice place for a short. Again, it might just be a higher low and then price breaks it later, but this still here could be a move you profit from, and maybe find some buys later on to profit on the buy as well. But I still do like the shorts there. Nice lower highs, or equal highs up there initially. Broke structure, new low, lower high, new low. Looking for a lower high in that sequence. And then hopefully we can see a continuation back to this area. And then maybe the buys look good. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with pound CAD. I'm looking for one more move down. Still a nice place for a short. A lot of momentum in the sells there. Broke through that support. Never had a retest. So to me, that still looks like a really nice place for a short, should we get back there. And if we do, look for rejection. And then, yeah, plot your entries. But pound CAD, I still do see a little bit more upside left, and then some sells around 1.76. I mean, buys around 1.735. Right now, not really. That's a major area of my attention, because I was looking at the high here. We kind of broke through that. Then my next major area is this low. So that's kind of where I'm at with pound CAD. In terms of Aussie yen, again, very similar situation with New Zealand yen. In terms of, again, we're at a really nice high over here. We're coming back to test some support. I do think we can see a reaction for price to go lower. And your first major area of support would be this level here, around 95 to 50. Again, you can probably get yourself a nice little 1 to 1, 1 to 2, 1 to 3 into that area. Depends on your entry. I mean, I don't like how price is moving, I must say, because it's kind of just like we've hit the level, now we're just kind of sideways. So what would be nice would be a strong kind of bearish candle breaking out of that. That could be a nice entry signal. The only thing with that is that your stop loss would be a little bit bigger to account for the candle if you take on candles that close, which is how I trade. And yeah, you could be looking at a nice little 1 to 1 into that level there, and then take some partials, maybe stop loss to break even, and see if you can swing it back into the low if things go really well. What would be nice as well, if we were to have one more push up on the lower time frames. So for example, let me scoot down to 30. Say for example, we push up one more time into the level, reject up there, find a nice entry after that, stop loss there. You can have a much tighter stop loss, and then you'd be looking at a nice 1 to 4, 1 to 3 potentially into that same level. So from a 1 to 1, you've gone to a 1 to 4. You've kind of tripled, quadrupled your profit margins there. And if you break through, could be a really nice trade. So the potential is there for Aussie yen. The potential is there. Just need to wait for a good entry. So far, not quite seen that as we just move sideways in this level. So keep an eye on 97,350. That's a nice little zone for us to sell from. If this area doesn't hold, I think that was a mosquito. It was a mosquito. Sorry about that, but there was a mosquito in my room. I hope that does not sting me. Anyway, so yeah, Aussie yen. Aussie yen in a nice place for a sell. And if we do move a little bit higher, I do have a zone just above us over here. I mean, not just above us, quite far away. But if the market does decide it wants to go a lot higher, then I could consider this level here at 99,500 as also a nice place for a short. But again, if we have a big move there, you're not necessarily looking for this big move back down again. I mean, how many pips is that? Yeah, it's about 1,000 pips. I'm not too sure many people here will be looking for a 1,000 pip move. You're kind of just looking to take a slice of the cake, maybe leave some positions to run. Just in case we do get going, we do have the potential for that. So take your slice of your cake, maybe leave some positions to run, and move into the next position. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for Aussie yen, and pretty much all the yen pairs in the same boat. Pound yen doing the same thing. So I'm keeping a very close eye on it because I've been looking to trade them all week. Haven't really seen anything, but now as we've had another push higher, things are looking very interesting. So just going to keep an eye out for that mosquito because I do not want that to get me. I think it's mosquito anyway. But yeah, the yen pairs are looking very, very similar. So just picking the best one. I've got about 3 or 4 which I'm looking at. Just wait for them to signal, and then I'll pick the one I'll trade. But it's the same thing. If I take a look at the Japanese index, I'd imagine that one's looking like it might roll over as well. Yeah, it's coming back into the high there as well. There is a level up here which you could still test. So maybe if the yen pairs want to push a little bit higher, we might make that move into that area. But again, I'm looking for another sell-off back into the low. This one looks like it's forming a bit of a double top there as well. So yeah, could see a big move down. And if the Japanese index does fall, then the yen pairs will fall with it. So yeah, we'll be keeping a close eye on all of them. And the CHF pairs in the same boat as well. Really big sell-off, maybe not as big as the yen pairs, but a huge sell-off as well. This is CAD CHF, really big tumble to the downside. So all I'm looking at now is just trying to plot that next lower high. I've mapped out a few areas. Now I'm kind of waiting for some entry signals. Aussie CHF as well. And you keep a close eye on this one because I could potentially take a trade on the next candle closure for Aussie CHF. If it does break down how I want it to, with a bit more momentum, a bit more conviction, then I will look to take a trade there with a stop loss above the high. So like this. But if it stays within the range, then I'm not interested. But you can see in the 4 hour, nice wicks to the upside as we come back into that zone. Price is kind of taking out this high, and now I'm expecting a drop down. Sort of like Elliott waves. Anyone who trades Elliott waves will be looking at this pattern here as like your A, B, C, D, E, and then the drop. Again, I don't really trade Elliott waves, but I'm aware of how it works. So yeah, Aussie CHF is probably the closest one to even entry, so I need to keep a very close eye on that one. But Aussie CHF, Aussie yen, they're very similar shorts. So if you're looking at either of them, again, sort of one, you just want to pick one and then stick with that because yen and CHF are very kind of intertwined. Normally when CHF is strong, so is yen. You can see how the markets have both fallen, or yen pairs have fallen, or CHF pairs have fallen as well. Typically, when yen's weak, CHF is weak and vice versa. So if you're shorting Aussie yen and shorting Aussie CHF is very, very similar pairs. Of course, they both have Aussie and then yen and CHF being very similar too. It's a very similar trade. So just pick the one and go with that, because again, it's either they're both going to work or they're both going to fail. So you're taking double the win or double the loss, which isn't inherently that bad. It's kind of equivalent of just doubling your risk. If you normally risk 1% per trade, effectively you're going 2% really, which isn't the end of the world. But you just have to be prepared for the bigger loss, of course, if it does lose. But yeah, very, very similar trades. And yeah, dollar pairs just haven't been that particularly great. I'm still keeping an eye on euro because the potential is there. Hopefully you can have one more pushback down until 1.087, and then hopefully you can find some entries down there. But at the moment, we're not even close. I'm just hoping that this corrective move is going to find a high and push down. If it does something like that, then yeah, maybe I've missed the move. But yeah, pound USD, that one's looking a tad bullish, but again, I'm not quite sold yet. Still moving in its descending channel here. Coming back into the upper end of that. So yeah, I'm not too sure. It looks like it's trying to find the low. Really nice close down the daily chart. This is, of course, our price swing low, which gave us the high. Prices pull back. We haven't broken through this low yet. So as long as we maintain that, I'm still looking for a push back to the high. And yeah, still very much the bigger move. Yetish. Okay, I'll take a look at that euro. Let me finish up on pound. So yeah, with pound, I'm looking to see that move happen. But yeah, momentum is the biggest thing. Can we break higher? Can we do it with force? And similar to euro, which we'll take a look at in a second, something like that, breaking out this channel. And then my job would be looking for the pullback and then the buy. And then, yeah, seeing how far we can take it, hopefully back into that swing high there. But probably a nice little retest like that. So yeah, that's one eye up on pound. It's starting to make a move, but still need a lot more from it. If anything, we could just find resistance here and sell off again, which is not really what I'm interested in. Okay, so I'll go for that euro trade. You're going to long above 1.0945. What do I think? Where is that? 1.0945. Okay, that's that high there. So yeah, I can get behind that, because if we were to take out that high there, that's a big break of structure, because yesterday we put in this lower high here to have a massive sell-off to take out the lows. So if the market now goes and breaks through that same high, that's a clear sign to me saying that, okay, this big sell-off here was just a big fake out, maybe just to stop out some traders with stop losses here, and use that to take euro a lot higher. So if we were to take out this high there, then looking for pullbacks or retests, that'll make a lot of sense to me. Make a lot of sense, and I think we'll be back at this high in no time at that point. So yeah, I'm looking to see if we can push down first and then get the buy. But if we do break structure, then the likelihood is we won't see this down move in the market. We'll probably just push on. It might have some minor pullbacks, but it probably will just push on back to the high. So yeah, buys above 0.0945 make a lot of sense. Just have to see what price wants to do. Will we push up first? Will we come down first? Yeah, we have no idea. We're just going to react to what price is going to give us. But at the moment, yeah, if we were to break that high, I think buys above that make a lot of sense. So I agree with you. And the USD, okay, we'll take a look at that one as well. So yeah, another dollar pair, which not big fan of as USD, but it has come into a nice place for a short. So this area here I was discussing yesterday is a nice place to short the market. We also had a nice bounce of that low. I think someone was actually looking to trade that yesterday. Nice push up. Price is now back at this area here. I think this is a nice place for a short. If price was to push back into this area, I think that could be a really nice trade to take advantage of, because we've had a pretty correct move higher. It hasn't been such a big move up. This was a pretty nice impulsive leg, and for the most part, this has been quite corrective. I know it's got kind of a weird wick there, but it is generally quite corrective. So I want to see that kind of continue. Now that we're coming back to test support here, this is of course naturally a nice place for a short. And in terms of targets, you've got a few lows to contend with, but this definitely being the first major one, which also lines up with all of these highs there as well. I feel like if you're looking to target there, you're in a good position to do so. Any further, it's kind of a bonus, because we well could come into that low, bounce, and push a lot higher. I'm still long-term bearish on the dollar, so because of that, I don't expect this to sell off really, really hard. Of course, my bias could be wrong, but I think we could see some downside. But coming back into this area, keep a close eye on it, because we could reverse. But yeah, for entries, because we are a little bit corrective here, I think if you're not already in the trade, you kind of want price to test the high again. Then look for your entries as we push back into the high around here, and then see if you can ride that back into that low. But yeah, in terms of the location, I think it looks really, really good. In terms of how price is moving, I think it looks really good as well. Momentum looks good. High time frames look good. It might just be a shorter term bearish move, but if that's what you're looking for, then there's nothing wrong with that. That could just be what price is going to do anyway. So I think that's a reasonable move to look for. If you're looking to push the trade back to the low here, you're asking for a lot. But as long as you manage to trade accordingly, maybe a trading stop loss or partial along the way, then you're good. As long as you're paying yourself. But yeah, I do think NZUSD's got to move down. And a brief look at Aussie dollar before coming into the stream. I feel like this has got to move down in it as well. I think it's just about creeped into, actually smashed through that area there. Hasn't quite made it into that low. Kind of coming into this area there as well. So I do think this one could see some downside. My only worry is how far, how much. It might be a move like this for the market to push higher, or it could be the market forming something like that. I'm not too sure, just because the bias in the higher time frame isn't clear. If I go to the daily chart, you can see how price is moving, kind of like a big range. So it's not like I've got a nice trend at play here where things look good and there's a clear trend, clear direction. There isn't much of that here for Aussie dollar. So just taking it kind of day by day with Aussie dollar, with New Zealand dollar, because the price action isn't clear. Or at least my directional bias isn't very clear. So nice areas for shorts. Just it might just be a trade for the session or for the day. But yeah, Aussie's looking pretty weak right now. How's Aussie yen doing? Not much there. Aussie CHF, okay, starting to break out. Yeah, a little bit more momentum than that, but it's starting to play ball though, I must say. It's starting to play ball. If it closes with a bit more momentum, I will take a position, because it's come back into a nice level of support and resistance. Can at least probably get a short back into this area here. I'm not expecting this to go too far, but I think I can get a short into that level at least, and that'll get me break even, probably to a point where I could trail stops. And if I'm lucky, it might continue. But yeah, we're seeing some momentum there, but again, the candles are still very, very small. So hopefully I can pick up. Aussie yen not doing much either. And the rest of the yen pairs, not much. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with New Zealand dollar. Good morning, FX Wolf. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are well. Euro yen very slow. Yeah, a little bit sideways. USD, Antonio, will take a look. A little bit sideways, but I do think it's kind of slow because it's just kind of in retracement mode, which is probably a good thing because it means that the sellers are still very much in town and likely to push us to the downside at some point. It's just about timing. But because we're taking our time and just moving slowly sideways, upwards correctively, just means that the momentum is still most likely with the bears, and we're probably going to spill over at some point. So I like the fact that we're slow, but yeah, a bit of speed won't hurt us too much. But yeah, I do think we're going to put a top in soon. Maybe we push up higher one more time, but I do think we're going to put a top in and have a sell off. There are some areas up here. I don't think we get to them. I think they're a bit too far away, a bit too much of an ask for Urian to retrace into. But I do think we get that sell at some point. Antonio UNZD will take a look. Tony Gold, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are well. Welcome. If you guys are enjoying the stream, by the way, please be sure to drop a like on the stream. It does really help out. Make sure you do hit the bell as well so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Subscribe to the channel as well. If you are enjoying the content. So yeah, with Euro NZD, I haven't really kept an eye on this one because in the back of my mind, I'm still looking for the long-term sells, but they're not quite there yet in the 4 hour. So I'm staying patient. So, pairs like Euro Yen and Aussie CHF, Dollar Yen, they're all kind of primed up, getting ready for some shorts. Whereas this one, I still need to start to break through some lows first. The main low being this one. This is the low that actually gave us a pretty big move to the upside. So you can see we have a swing high over there, that's the wrong tool. We had a swing high over here, swing low over there, which gave us new highs over here. So I do want to see price, go and break through this. Tell me that the buyers, are failing to hold prices, hold price, and continue it bullish. And at that point, I'm looking for the reversal, maybe a retest of the low, maybe a retest of some piece of structure somewhere. I'll give a more detailed setup of what I'll be looking at closer to when I take the trade. But effectively, I want to see price break the low and, look for some lower highs afterwards. So, yeah, I do expect that to happen in the near future, a big move down. Now it's just about timing and staying patient because, yeah, I don't want to jump the gun too early whilst everything's still bullish, whilst we could still easily push up to resistance again before we have a big sell, which could still be a nice trade. Back in resistance, kind of like a big double, not double top, big head and shoulder pattern. And that could come into play. But yeah, nothing there for me yet. All I know is that I'm expecting a big reversal. Now just waiting for that mimic on the lower time frame so I can find some entries. But Euro NZD, Pound NZD, Euro Aussie, Pound Aussie, I'm just getting ready for some shorts. I must say Pound NZD looks a little bit better than Euro NZD because there's already a play which I wouldn't mind taking, which would be a retest of this low here. The price is going to have a nice corrective move up. I wouldn't mind taking some shorts there for another move down. The market's very, very stretched here with this move higher, so I wouldn't mind taking some sells at all. Certainly with the way price is moving, we put a nice lower high over there as well after putting that low in, and the lower low, lower high, looking for the next short. So I really do like this opportunity here for Pound NZD should it come into play. And yeah, I would expect more downside. So Pound NZD, I've got my eyes on a bit more. Euro NZD, I think that's just something I will put at the back of the list now. Of course, every weekend I do analyze the markets to see which pairs could look good for next week. But at the moment, not much from USD just yet. Usual profit, I normally have 5,000. I'm not sure anything I make. It depends. It really depends. Depends on performance. Depends on what the account is for and the purpose of it as well. I feel like with trading, you do need to try and keep money in there for it to grow, because at the end of the day, if you always withdraw at the end of the month what you have above your original balance, then the account isn't really going anywhere. Unless you have a really, really big account, or the account is big enough, for you to make adequate gains. You kind of want to leave money in there for it to grow. So if you're in a situation where you can leave money in the account, you want to kind of leave as much money as possible. Still want to withdraw though to pay yourself, and keep that kind of reward system going, because if you kind of leave everything in there, then you kind of become a little bit attached to the money, and sometimes if things go wrong, you don't really have much to show for it. So I would say, depending on the balance you have, maybe 50-50. Take 50 out, but keep 50 in, just so you can slowly compound something. So in a year's time, that account is going to be a bigger account than it is now, rather than just taking everything out. But then it depends on your situation as well. Maybe you need to, or maybe you don't. I don't know. Again, how much is enough? It depends on what what is enough for you. That's a question you have to kind of go back. How much do you want to make? How much percentage do you want to make, or do you think you can make? And then how much of an account you need to make all of that add up. And of course, it depends where you are, because if you live in the UK, or if you live in Botswana, for example, the amount of money you need to trade for a living is going to be very different. So it just depends where you are. But I would suggest, though, don't take everything out. If you can afford to leave even a little bit, leave that bit, because at least that can compound for bigger profits later on. So at least in a year's time, that account is bigger. Antonio Silva, yes, we'll take a look. No problem. Happy to help. So yeah, with silver, I haven't actually had my eye on silver much. Had a bit of a sell-off last week, and since then I haven't really been focused on it, really, because we did come into this level of support. Actually, no, we didn't quite actually. Thought we did. We didn't quite come into that, so we might still see a bit more downside for us to get there. At the moment, you can clearly see we're in some structure right now. Price support over there, big break to the downside. Of course, it's going to be flipped into resistance. So, yeah, for silver, I would actually expect another move lower. Really nice impulse. Has seen a bit of upside. Hasn't really changed much. So, yeah, I would expect another move down. There is a area just above us here. We might push into that if price wants to kind of fake some people out this afternoon, because there will be a lot of stops above here. If people are going to get faked out, it might just be to push a little bit higher. So if you are in a trade and you get stopped out, don't get discouraged, because it might be price just wants to move a little bit higher before the sell. But it's either from that support level there or this level here. I'll expect that lower high to form. Another push back into the low, and then maybe if we're lucky, another push back into this low here. But yeah, silver, I'll be bearish for now. Longer term, I am still looking for a big swing higher, but momentum has shifted. We tried to break bullish over here. We had this descending channel. We tried to break to the upside. All it amounted to was just a big lower high, and price shot back down. Since then, we formed lower lows and lower highs. So I would be looking for that to continue till we get to this low here, because this, of course, is the low which produced this massive move higher up. So if we were to break through this, that would really be a big problem for the buys and the higher time frames. But for now, we're still respecting it. So yeah, looking for a move down, and maybe you can discuss some buys later on. But yeah, I do expect another drop for silver. Yeah, exactly. The cost of living will differ from country to country. So yeah, that's a fact you have to take into advantage as well, because depending where you're living, you might need a lot more money or a lot less. So the size of the account is will depend on that as well. John, good morning. Hope you are well. I am doing good. Thoughts on gold? So yeah, with gold, gold's just not looking too good right now. Don't really like the price action much. Again, I'm still bullish on it, so my opportunities I'll be looking for gold are generally going to be buying opportunities, looking to take price higher. But yeah, at the moment, it's just very difficult because how we're moving. I've drawn a box around price because this is basically consolidation, really. But if I do expand it to like the weekly, for example, momentum is still very much to the upside and the trend is still very much alive. So that's kind of why I'm still looking for buys, because momentum on the higher time frames is still pushing us higher. So I, generally speaking, want to be in that direction. As a swing trader as well, especially day trading, you can get away with going against the higher time frames because you're just in it for a few hours. But if you can look to hold trades a little bit longer, you kind of want to be in that direction most of the time, especially in these conditions. So with gold, I kind of want to make sure I'm buying low because we are ranging. Typically, you do want to buy low in a range. So getting involved in these areas here just becomes very, very difficult because of how price is moving. It's fluctuating a lot, up and down, up and down. It's difficult to get a good entry and a good trade because we're just seeing a lot of random moves. If we're at the low, we can be a little bit more. Why it took so long? If we're at the low, we can be a little bit more careful because at least we get a stop loss in a safer place, and we know that we're at the low. So it's either price is going to bounce here or it's going to break out and reverse. So we know we've kind of got our backs against the wall. So either that wall's going to hold, it's going to break. If we take trades within here, that wall could break a few times and still go your way anyway. As with this as well, but it's just a better place in general. So with gold, as I said yesterday, buys around 23.70 look good at support. Unless we come back there, it's difficult to trade it, in my opinion. It was a pretty strong candle close yesterday as well. That was the candle yesterday. A lot of momentum. Still waiting for 22.81 gold. That's a nice pullback. Now it's choppy. Very, very true. Where's 22.80? Is it 22 or 23? Because 22.81 is this low here. So I assume you're talking about 2023 back to this area, which would be a nice place for a long. 22.81 would be back to this area here, which would also make a lot of sense as well. I'm not too sure which one you're talking about because they're both not bad areas, because this is a very strong support level where the market's bounced a few times, and again we could definitely see another bounce. And at that level there as well, that's also a nice place for a buy there too, because at least we're close to the low of the range. So both 23.81 and both 22.81 are decent buys. So I'm not even too sure which one you're talking about, but they both look good actually because they're both at significant levels of support and low at the range as well, so you can get decent stop losses. But yeah, just 22.81. It's going to take us a long time for us to get there, if we get there as well. But of course, patience is the best virtue in trading. So if you found the area which you want to buy from, all you have to do is wait for it to get there. It might not, it might do, it might take a while, but that's all part of the game, the waiting as well. Okay, let me see how Aussie CHF closed, because I'm actually looking to take a trade in that one. Yeah, not much there. It did just kind of look like it's closing below, but again, that wick there is not really good. So I need to see more momentum than that for me to take the trade. It's a nice area, just not moving too well. Hopefully we pick up some momentum from somewhere. But yeah, I'll wait for the next candle to see how the next candle reacts. How's Aussie yen looking? Not much there. Dollar yen, not much there. Euro yen, not much there. New Zealand yen, not much. GJ, not much. CAD as well. So yeah, let me see pound CHF. Pound CHF, not much either. So yeah, a lot of pairs I'm looking at kind of just a little bit sideways right now. Hoping they can find some momentum from somewhere. There's not a lot of news today. Not a lot of news today. We already had such a big week with news last week. So this week's kind of like price is taking a bit of a breather. So yeah, I probably expect price to kind of fizzle out. Apart from CAD unemployment rate later today, kind of just expect price to fizzle out. And you see how some of the weekly candles are looking. Yetish, if 1 hour close about 2030 on gold, I'm looking for intraday long. Okay. Let's have a look, see. So if the 1 hour closes above 2430, 2430, 2430. Okay, that's above the high. Looking for an intraday long. Okay. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but of course, I'm sure you have your reasons for looking for the long trade. Again, I don't want to talk anyone out of taking a position, but of course, share my opinions and do what you will with that. But yeah, I don't want to talk you out of trade because trades are unique. They come around, you take the trade. As long as there's plan, there's thinking, there's logic behind it, win, lose, or draw, doesn't really matter on an individual basis. It's all about 20, 50, 100 trades. That's where you judge the system, not one. But yeah, the reason why I don't like it is just because of the conditions around it. It's not like gold is pumping higher and seeing really nice trend. That's when you see some really nice breakouts when price does break the high. And these are kind of like the best conditions to take breakouts off the high in because there's a lot of momentum in the market and we're likely just going to continue that momentum in the same direction. But when we're kind of just chopping around like this, certainly in the middle of the range, it becomes a little bit more difficult to take that buy. Yeah, looking for the break of the high there, just based on these conditions as well. It's just a lot more prone to fake outs than when the trend is just very much at play. And we're just seeing a lot of momentum in that direction. So that would be my only kind of worry with that position. I mean, I'm bullish on gold, so I do think we'll go higher anyway. But just because of the conditions, I don't like it. Hence why I'm talking about buying low because trying to stay away from the middle. That's the only thing I don't like about it. But besides from that, I'm very bullish on gold anyway. We'll take a look at Bitcoin as well. Did the Monday red opening affect any of your trades? I didn't have any trades open on Monday. But yeah, if I did have a trade, if I did have a trade, definitely would have done because all kind of FX markets were kind of messing around, especially Aussie and New Zealand. But I didn't have any trades open, luckily enough. Hey, what's up, more? Haven't missed much, my friend. Haven't missed much at all. Okay. 2430. Yeah, it's a nice support resistance level because I assume you're talking about this area here as well. So yeah, it's not bad. It's just conditions. Because support resistance levels are great. I look at support resistance as well. I buy from support resistance. But from my experience, I can tell that support resistance will hold better under certain conditions and not perform as well under certain conditions as well. The market is going to be choppy like it is now for gold and doing kind of this like random price action. then these highs of support resistance won't hold as well. Not that they won't hold at all, because prices has its randomness, and sometimes support will hold. But when we're in conditions when the market is free flowing and driving higher, these levels do act a lot better. Again, they're not perfect. They still will have failures as well. But I'd rather take a break and retest in these conditions rather than trying to catch a high here. And that's just part of my experience in trading. Again, I'm not saying that it won't work out, because I've seen examples where it does happen, but I know it just works better when it's trending. So that's where I'll focus my attention on. And again, like I said, I don't want to talk you out of the trade. Take the trade if it fits your plan well. The way you improve is not just by listening to what everyone says and just following that. The way you're improving is taking advice, but looking back at your previous trades. Where are your losses coming from? Where are your wins coming from? Focusing on what you're doing well for your wins. Focus on what you're doing well with your losses. Focus on what you're not doing well with your losses. That's the best way forward. You don't want to take what anyone says is gospel, especially in trading. You want to test it out for yourself. So Bitcoin. I wasn't any trades coming into the week, but the FX pairs were a little bit crazy. Big spikes everywhere. Okay, we're seeing some momentum. I think I'll probably look at pound CHF over Aussie CHF. Just because we had quite a few candles pushing up higher. I don't like taking the trade after the 4 candles of push up. I like it 1 or 2, sometimes 3, but 4 is a little bit of a push. But that's kind of where the momentum comes. If I scoot to the 2-hour time frame, then yeah, I think pound CHF is looking a little bit better. We'll see how it closes relative to that level of support, because it might just bounce there. But I've got a feeling the CHF pairs and the yen pairs will probably fall at the same time. So it's just about picking the best one. I think I prefer New Zealand yen a little bit more to Aussie yen, just because of how everything's looking there. Nice little close like that. Could be a decent trade. So yeah, could be taking the trade in the next hour or so. I need to keep a close eye on that. Because if I get some decent close there for the yen pairs or the CHF pairs, I will look to get involved. You can see all that momentum there. It's a big wind in our sails to the downside. So now I'm just looking at timing and getting in at the right places. This is not a bad place. If I'm wrong, if I do get stopped out, I do have a area above us where, again, if it does play out, you're looking at a decent risk reward. So if you do take a loss, take it on the chin. The next trade could make up for that loss plus a lot more. How's Euro looking? Yeah, I'm not too sure if I'll get Euro. Let me see how some of the weekly candles are looking. So yeah, that is horrendous. What is that? Just a big doji floating above us. Not great price action, I must say, from Euro. And that's why I have been reluctant to trade dollar pairs for a while. Because the conditions have just been very, very choppy. I mean, as of late, DXY has kind of got a little bit better. With the last week's candle, really nice shift to the downside. So I like that. I'm still expecting more of the same, but Euro is still a little bit choppy. Still have that bullish bias, but not the best close. Pound USD, again, we've seen a bit of a sell-off, but not giving us much information apart from we're kind of just rebounding on this level here. Is it going to hold? Maybe. Aussie dollar, again, Aussie dollar is a big rejection, but what are we doing though? I like candlesticks like this because they're big, meaningful. but they have to be at good locations. And right now, yes, we rejected the low, but I don't know what price is doing. We're making lower highs here. At the same time, making higher lows here. So it's kind of useless. It's mean like, okay, we might push back to the high, but could come straight back down and so on and so forth. Until price commits in the direction, don't really have a clear-cut bias. USD that's a big sign. So again, really nice rejection at a critical area, because even though I'm not the biggest fan of the price action of USD but at least I know it's kind of like a clear-cut range. There's your high, there's your low. Price just clearly rejecting the high of the range. So now there's a good chance dollar CAD could do something like that. Whether we'll get all the way back to the low, that's a different question. But if I mark the 50% on with the fib, there's a good chance we do get back to the 50. So the 50 is about there-ish. So there's a good chance we get to around 1.35, 356, 35. There's a good chance we get there, and then maybe if we're successful, we break through, we get to the low. But I know for dollar CAD, there's a good chance we continue selling off after such a rejection of the high back into this area, which basically coincides with this level of support. So that would be a reasonable target for next week. So if I just drop to the 4-hour, if you see something like this next week, a nice push up, chances are we're going to form a lower high to come back down. And that in turn could be a nice sell. NZUSD on the weekly chart, again, a nice reaction off the low, but, we're just pushing up to come lower. I don't know. Been forming these higher lows here. It looked like at one point we're breaking through, but looks like we're not doing that anymore. We've got the lower highs there too, so you can see the kind of dilemma I have here. Nice high lows, but lower highs at the same time. What's price trying to do? Are we breaking higher, breaking lower? It looked like last week we were breaking lower. Not last week, the week before. But now price is pushing back in. So, yep, back at square one again. Dollar CHF, nice push down. Still expecting a bit more downside into the low. So I still like dollar CHF to the downside. How is this one looking as well? Okay, this one's just kind of moving sideways. I think we can fall, but might not be a big one. Gold weekly chart, again, it's kind of a small body candle there. Not much to see, but it does look like price is trying to push on. Weekly chart on silver, coming back into this area. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a bullish candle next week for silver. Euro CAD, nice rejection at the high. Aussie CAD, again, a big random wick. Pound CAD, nice rejection. I like the rejections there. Euro NZD, Pound NZD. So yeah, not a lot of information this week on the weekly chart, because I like using the weekly to anticipate what the next week might do. But the best way to do that is, number one, the weekly needs to be trading at an area of value like support resistance, a trend line, something pivotal, and then reject that area or show a big candle breaking through that area. Then you have a nice idea of what the following week will do. It's either going to continue that momentum, or if it's a rejection, continue the rejection. But a lot of weekly candles are kind of just in the middle of nowhere, so I'm not really trying to anticipate much. Especially for some of the dollar pairs. And then the yen pairs, just, kind of dojis, some weird candle closures this week. But there's still a lot of momentum from previous weeks, so I do think we can still see some downside. So yeah, we'll keep a very close eye on them, because Yen pairs is probably where I'm gonna get my position from. Pound USD, yeah, not really interested at the moment. But to be honest, I've been very busy, so I haven't been at the charts as much as I wanted to the past couple of weeks, and that probably will stay the same for maybe the next month or two as things continue with elevating traders. But hopefully afterwards, when things are settled in and things are running smoothly, I can get more focus on the charts again. But yeah, recently I've been very, very busy, so I haven't been looking at the charts. And to be honest, I have probably missed out maybe on 3 or 4 positions. It has been a bit of a dry period in the weeks anyway, but probably say I've missed out on about 3 or 4 trades over the past couple of weeks, which is not the end of the world. Shahid, US 30. Okay. US 30. I haven't really been looking at US 30. I've been looking at more NAS and S&P. Okay, so for US 30, yeah, a really strong move down this week, but that's completely been all erased. I mean, again, I don't want to judge the weekly candle now. I very much judge the weekly candle on Saturday when the market's closed. But of course, we are getting an idea of how it possibly will close. You still do have 10 hours, still do have some news in the afternoon, which could move the market. I know it's CAD news, but we'll see. But yeah, really strong close yesterday. I will still keep a close eye on this area here as a nice place for a short. Again, I'm still very much bullish on US 30 in the higher time frame. So all of this price action to me is still bullish, and I would expect it to continue until it doesn't really, as such. But I can definitely see that this is still a nice place for a short, since this was really strong support there. We broke through the level with a lot of momentum, never had a retest, so it's still a relatively fresh level. That means if price gets there again, there's a good chance we're going to react with it and probably see some downside. We're taking out some highs over here, which is where people were selling from yesterday or the day before. So we might kind of continuously push up higher back into that area, and again see another drop similar to that one. Maybe it does take us into the low. Maybe you put a higher low in and push higher. That would be up to price. That would be up to US 30. But for now, I do think we can see another push down. It's a really nice high over there. Low, lower high, lower low. The next bet would be another lower high somewhere for another push down. So yeah, not NAS, sorry. US 30, I do think another drop is likely. Nothing crazy though. I'm not expecting reversals. We're still putting in these high lows on the daily chart. High low, high low. This well could be the next high low to take us back to the highs and beyond. So I'm definitely not blind to that. But I can see that this is a nice short-term sell. So beyond the 4-hour, hourly chart, maybe 30-minute as well, that could be a shorter term trade you look for a couple of days, maybe for some buys later on. But yeah, that is where I'm at with NAS. Something like that. And again, it might even take us a couple of days to get there anyway. So patience, patience, patience. Okay, DXY might push us a little bit higher here. If DXY does push us higher, because if dollar does gain some strength, then that means probably JPY will gain some strength and CHF will gain some strength, which will mean that these pairs, pound CHF, Aussie CHF, CAD CHF, should all be getting ready for a nice little sell-off. For dollar CHF, not too sure because dollar would be a bit strong, so that one might find it a little bit difficult, but the yen pairs could see some downside too. So you need to keep a close eye on that. If pound CHF kind of just commits a little bit harder, I will take a position there. Yeah, stop loss just above the high. and at least a push into that low. That will be the trade. And again, this is a little bit aggressive for me as well because I don't normally take shorts with not much of a pullback, especially after such a big move. Again, if I whip out the Fibonacci from the high to the low, okay, I was not expecting that. I generally thought we wouldn't be close to the 50, but it looks like we just about tested it. That is surprising. Okay, this makes the trade even better now. I generally thought we weren't close to the 50, so I was going to be a bit more aggressive with the trade because normally I like taking trades from the 50 and above. This is kind of the area which I like to take trades in. But because the conditions are so bearish for the JPY and for the CHF, I don't mind not waiting for the 50 and just getting in anyway, which is a bit more risky on my part. But because of the condition of the market, we're just not seeing big pullbacks, it makes sense. But yeah, I just didn't draw Fibonacci on because I just assumed it wasn't. But nope, it's actually testing the 50. So yeah, that makes the trade a lot better. So yeah, if I do see momentum come from that low, from that area, I definitely will take a trade. Okay, no problem. We'll have a good one. We'll see you Monday. Hopefully, all is going well with the store as well, because I know it's a lot setting up a business, especially a store. A lot of moving parts. So yeah, we'll keep a very close eye on pound CHF because could be taking a trade in the next 30 minutes, but it all depends how the candle does close. If it just kind of leaves another wick like it's been doing, you can see over here, bunch of wicks into this level of support. That's not what I want to see. I kind of want to see price commit a little bit lower than that. It doesn't have to be something crazy. Just show me some commitment below it with minimal wick to the downside. And that will be my trade. Stop loss above the high. And then, yeah, looking for that move. But yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Because I do still expect pound CHF to make it back to this low, which we're not far away from. Washington, what is up? Platinum. Okay, we'll take a look. So, what's Platinum called again? I keep forgetting Platinum's it's like XP XPD. Does it say it here? XPT, that's it. You remember that, XPT, PT. So yeah, with Platinum, yeah, I'm looking for another move back into the low because again, I've been looking at Platinum on the higher time frames. I didn't look at Platinum myself, but when people do request it on the streams, I do take a look. So I do look at it from time to time. But we are forming these major lower highs here: 1, 2, 3, 4. So I do think price will have another move back into support again. So the idea with Platinum is for a big push into the lows, and we've been slowly trending to the downside with these lower highs here. We formed another lower high over there, another push down, lower high, another push down. So I said last time I looked at it, which I think was last week, was if we have another pullback again, I'm looking for a lower high for a short. It looks like, have we just about come into that low there? May have just missed it, but this looks like a nice level for support, which should now be time resistance. It's a nice place for a short. Already starting to sell off pretty well. So it's like if you weren't already in the trade, you might have missed the boat. Or if price is kind, it might push up again and then get the sell later on. So if it does push up again, that will become a really nice sell. Even retesting this area there, minus support there before a big breakout. That could also look good as some confidence for shorting. But the idea for Platinum is to look for lower high for this just move to continue, back down to the lows here and beyond. Longer term on the weekly chart, I think we're probably going to come back to this area, but we'll speak on that at a later date. For now, platinum's really bearish. We're pretty consistent with the lower lows and lower highs. Looks like we're forming another one. So yeah, I'll expect us just to keep going back into 903, 597 where we came from, and then 873, 885. But hopefully we can push up again if you're not already in the position, because yeah, need to get some entries. But yeah, it looks like, I don't know, because silver I'm expecting more downside, platinum I'm expecting more downside. What am I looking for? Copper. Okay, XCU, I keep forgetting the metals. XCU, copper, XPT, XPT, platinum. So copper had a short bias over there. We've had pretty big moves since then. Again, copper, higher time frames is still pretty bullish. We are coming to some areas where we could bounce for copper, which is this area here. And we are already seeing a bit of a reaction. So yeah, I mean, the buys do look good down here. I like the reactions, pretty smooth. I feel like that's still a nice place for a buy if we were to get back there. But at the same time, still looking like a nice place for a short as well. So I think the shorts still look good for copper, but I would kind of play it a bit more on a short-term basis, because we're coming back into some big areas on the daily and the weekly chart where it could actually push us higher. Maybe the bigger move is still down. Maybe just to come and retest some structure up there. But I do think there's a bigger move probably going to happen for copper. But for now, we're still in that bearish structure. So, as we push higher, I think copper is going to fall. I think platinum will fall. I think silver is looking like it was going to fall as well. Gold, I'm not too sure about gold. This one's moving a little bit differently, but it's in resistance now at the moment as well. But yeah, platinum, I think there's a good move for a move down. I should stop saying, I think, not really a good word to say when trading. A good phrase. So yeah, pound CHF. You're going to keep a close eye on that one, because sometimes on the stream when I'm looking at trades, sometimes I get a bit distracted with other charts I'm looking at, and I sometimes forget the pair I'm looking to trade. I don't think I've missed the trade before on stream. I've always remembered, but sometimes I do get a little bit distracted. So to make sure I remember. But yeah, pound CHF looking a little bit better than Aussie CHF. I know Aussie CHF looks like it's breaking out, but it's just doing it so sluggishly. And I don't really like that. Hopefully a bit more momentum on pound. Dollar CHF, we'll take a look, no problem. No problem, Holy One. Off to Ethiopia on Sunday, nice. Wife's going to see her family, wondering if I can still join from there. Of course, should be able to. I don't see any reason, as long as you got a laptop or a phone or an internet connection. I'm not sure, what's the time zone in Ethiopia? I think it's probably maybe an hour or 2 hours ahead of the UK. Yeah, of course you can. If your wife wants to join, she's more than welcome as well. Although, if she's not into trading, she probably will be bored out of her mind though. So yeah, we'll keep a very close eye on the old pound CHF, because that is the pair I'm looking to trade. Other CHF pairs look okay. I mean, again, with the CHF pairs, they're all probably going to fall at the same time. So it's about picking the better one. At the moment, pound looks the best to me, so that's the one I'll focus on. And also, it does depend on the strength and the weakness of the currency as well. Um, I think pound is, yeah, I don't know, pound's a weird one. It's been a little bit strong, been a bit weak. I think it is on the weaker side of things. Um, he was dancing, have the 20 pip drawdown. Did you enter? No, it didn't hit my level, unfortunately. Euro USD, the annoying boy. I was looking to buy it from this area here. It got about 20, not 20, about 10 pips away. Yeah, it did have a really nice rejection on the hourly, and I was debating to enter, but it would be breaking my plan, which is not what I'm supposed to be doing. But yeah, it was a really nice rejection. It was a really nice sell off as well. I was hoping kind of we can continue that sell off a little bit further into that low and then the buy, because that's the area I was looking to enter from. Um, with that 0.618 confidence there as well. We are still pretty corrective, so I wonder if Euro can do it again. I'm not quite sold on this move higher. It's pushed up, yes, but it's still kind of very corrective. So I wonder if we're going to sell off again. But again, I'm not too fast. I'm not trying to force anything. I've got a few pairs I'm looking at. Pound CHF is on the cusp of giving me an entry. All I want to do is find a good trade. If it's on pound CHF, it's on euro, it's on euro yen. I'm not really too bothered. I do like euro, just missed out my area, unfortunately. Yeah, it's Friday, so close. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. No need to try and hold it over the weekend. Can always look to re-enter at some point next week as well. But yeah, I mean, it's coming to the end of the week. Sometimes best. I mean, I don't mind holding position over the weekend. If I had to choose, I'd rather probably not. But sometimes it does make sense to hold over the weekend if things are looking good. But then again, it depends. It depends on your circumstances as well. But yeah, I mean, close it out. Not too bad. It's moving a little bit choppy as well. We don't really have any news this afternoon either. So I think for Euro, it might just be a sluggish end to the day. You might kind of just be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until the daily candle does close. So I'm not expecting much with Euro or any dollar pairs for that matter. We've got CAD unemployment rate at 130. So I think CAD will be up and down. But dollar side of things, of course, you're going to have that natural injection of momentum as New York opens. But apart from that, there's not much going on. How's dollar CHF looking? So yeah, with dollar CHF, I am looking for a move down. Albert, I will take a look at gold as well, no problem. So yeah, with dollar CHF, I'm looking for a big move down to the low here. This is the target I said last week I'm expecting price to get to. And we've had price come very, very close, and now it's kind of pushed up. So I actually like when price does this, because I will have targets where I'm looking for price to get to. And if it just misses out and it pulls back, normally that's just an excuse to find another entry to take it higher. Sometimes the market isn't perfect and it might reverse without testing the level perfectly. A situation like that do happen, but more often than not, if you just miss out a major target like this one, a major level, price is normally likely to hit it. So this move high is probably going to end up with a lower high at some point for the market to roll over. So the bias is definitely bearish. They had a lot of momentum in the past week, and this move high just looks really corrective to me. So it's most likely going to be a pullback anyway, and price is probably going to do something like that. You can see if I zoom out, we have so many successive lower highs here. So all we're looking for is that pattern to continue for another one of those and the big sell-off. The only thing about dollar CHF is that there isn't really a concrete level which I'm looking to short from. I mean, if it can get back to this low, great. If you can get back to this low, great. If you can get back to this low, great. But it's not really close to any one of those areas. So I kind of want to see another move higher, but I'm looking on the hourly chart. I don't think we will. I feel like we've had one big move here, second big move here, third big move here. And typically when the market's moving like this, we have 1, 2, 3, and normally from the third one we do kind of roll over. So I'm kind of expecting us to see that roll over right now. It's just a shame because we're not really testing a big level or a meaningful level, which is kind of what's happening here. There we go. Which is kind of a meaningful part of my plan, or the confidence I use to short. So yeah, dollar CHF, looking for that to happen. In terms of entries, a little bit difficult because we are kind of just moving sideways here. So yeah, kind of a similar situation with the CHF pairs across the board. I'm kind of waiting for momentum to kick in, and a strong hourly kind of closure like that could be entry, stop loss above the high, and then you've got a nice little target back into the low. And if things go very well, you might leave some positions to run back to the low there. But I'm looking for something similar on pound, looking for momentum, short. That's my first target, and hopefully we can go and break through that. But yeah, dollar CHF, I'm looking at something very, very similar. So yeah, we'll see if we can get it. We've got 17 minutes until that candle does close. So a lot can happen in 17 minutes. I mean, at the moment, there's not enough for me, but in 17 minutes, we could look a lot different. So I'm not going to rule anything out. Just need to keep a close eye. In terms of gold, so yeah, gold pretty popular today, but I'm not really sure why, because price action hasn't been great as of late. Didn't mean to rhyme there. But you can see gold just moving very, very sideways. I'm looking for a push back into the high, back into resistance, because again, I'm still very bullish on gold in general. So yeah, 2480 is where I see price heading up. But in terms of a smart place for a buy, I want to be down low, close to the lows here, because that's where the major rejection is happening. Anything in this area here is just very, very choppy and difficult to predict what price is going to do next. If I'm down here or even up there for sells, at least I know I'm at the extremes, at the high of the range or the low of the range. Just a smarter place to get involved in general, and you have a bit more luck. It's looking bullish right now, so whether we make that move back down to support to actually get that buy, that's a whole different question. We might not get that. Yeah, the ship might have already left the station, but gold, I am bullish. I'm looking for a push back to the high, and I think if we get there, we're probably going to hit 2,500 anyway with some new all-time highs. But just is there a good opportunity to buy? In my opinion, no at the moment. If we push back to support, maybe. But yeah, if I'm looking at this from a personal perspective, I'm very much, I've missed the boat on gold. If it does come back down, great. Then I'll look to see what I can do. If not, then my focus will be elsewhere. A really nice close as well on the daily chart yesterday. So I don't know, momentum probably from yesterday could take us in today as well, keep pushing. Strong close in silver too. But yeah, how's dollar doing? Not much from dollar. That's what I'm looking for. But again, we've already got a 3, 1, 2, 3 stabs, and normally we get the sell off. So yeah, I think it's pretty clear in terms of direction for dollar. Again, nothing's 100%. It's just clear in terms of the thought process and the thinking behind it. Not that I'm going to be 100% correct on what price is going to do next, but I know if we play this out, 10 times, at least 6 or 7, price makes a move down. And again, that's probability. That's all we need as traders. Nothing more than that. Anything more is just it's better. It's just a bonus. So yeah, pairs going into next week. A lot of CHF I'll focus on. I do like patterns of these, so that'll probably make its way into the watch list next week. I wasn't expecting this move this week, but now that we've done that, Yeah, I'll add that to the watch list next week. Euro Aussie, Pound Aussie, not the biggest fan of these. They've got some work to do. CAD pairs I don't like at all, really. I have no idea what some of them are doing, especially Entity CAD and Aussie CAD. So yeah, and then the yen pairs looking to catch some shorts. Might take a while. Again, patience is a key element in trading. As people have traded for a while, you probably come to realize that. And the importance of timing as well. And again, patience and timing come hand to hand. So you don't want to be patient just for the sake of being patient, because then that just ruins the purpose. The reason why you're patient is because you're waiting for a good opportunity. You don't want to be patient just because someone said be patient when you're trading, so you kind of just wait. And if you wait 1 day, 3 days, 5 days just to take a really poor trade, then what was the point of waiting? There's probably a really poor trade you could have taken anyway. On the first day, you didn't need to wait 5 days just to take a poor trade on the fifth day. So if you're going to be patient, you be patient with a purpose. And the best way to do that is have absolute clarity in the setup, in what you're looking for, and have full confidence in it that if you do this 100 times, you walk away for profit. So it makes sense to do these actions. If you have full confidence in what you're doing, you know exactly what you're doing, you have absolute clarity in what you're looking for, then the patience will come to you naturally, because you're just waiting for those opportunities to arise. Maybe you get 2 opportunities in 1 day. Maybe you get 5 opportunities in 1 month, and 4 of them come in 1 week. That could be the possibility. But the patience is with a purpose, not just because someone online said be patient. Because otherwise, you're going to take really poor trades patiently, which is not going to do you anything. Timel, what is up from Turkey? Welcome. Hope you're good. Yes, I can take a look at pound yen. Again, pound yen, it's a similar situation with pretty much all the yen pairs. Again, looking for a sell. I have highlighted this area here as a place where I do want pound yen to get to before we sell, but looking at price action now, how we're just about coming to the high here, it does look like we could see a big move down from that same area and just come back into the low there. It may take us for another move up higher, which will be great, because that could be the biggest sell we're looking for. But I think for the here and now, this is still a relatively really nice place for a short. And even if you target that, you're still looking at a decent little trade there. So on the lower time frames, if we see some momentum, maybe this candle can give it to us if we push a little bit stronger. That could be a nice entry signal there, still also above the high. And you're looking at a nice 1 to 1, 1 to 1.5 into that low. You can let secure profit there, maybe partial out, and then maybe leave some positions to run. And best case scenario, your price might run back to the low, and you can close out some remaining positions there, or maybe there. That'll be up to you. But generally speaking, I like where we're at. We're trading at a really nice price. We're just about coming to the high there. We're rejecting it. What we need to see is a bit of conviction to the downside. If we don't, and price decides it wants to break higher, that's very much okay as well. Because as I said, there's a nice area up there we could test before the sell. And again, this will probably be for next week. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for pound yen. As a full-time trader, what do you normally do when there's no funny group setup? Good question. Because trading is not an endeavor that takes a lot of your time. Of course, when you're coming up and you're learning the ropes, 100%. But in terms of actually trading, I probably spend no more than 90 minutes a day on average. So yeah, a lot of the time when there's no favorable setup, you want to either do something completely different, as in nothing to do with the markets, to take your mind elsewhere, and not be concerned with price, because the last thing you want to do is not have a trade, but then just be watching the markets randomly, because that just doesn't do anything for you. If there is no trade, why are you looking at the markets? If anything, that will probably lead you to make a silly decision later on. So the best thing you can do is just to do something else, which it might be nice to have another project you're working on, a part-time job, or a hobby you're working on, whatever it might be. Or you could be looking at reviewing your past trades and working on improving your edge. It's either you're working on improving your trading, or you're just doing something completely different. I've got a few projects I'm working on at the moment, so my time is quite tied up, and I'm actually not being able to be in the charts as much as I wanted to. The past few weeks, I've been quite busy with that. So for me right now, it's working on a few projects, but otherwise, it could be just reviewing my previous trades, making sure everything's up to scratch for my previous trades, I'm doing everything correctly, or going to the gym and take my mind off the charts. Business beat, US 30. Would you think it will fall? I'll take a look. I'm in a short now. What do you say? Okay, we'll take a look at US 30, and we'll go through Euro Pound as well. Philip, what is up? Will you sell Aussie CHF now? I'm looking at Pound CHF. It looks a little bit cleaner. How is Aussie CHF doing? Okay, it looks decent, to be fair. It actually looks pretty good. How's Pound looking? Yeah, I'd probably rather go Pound, because it's a little bit more closer in terms of the stop loss size and the relativeness to the next target. Whereas if I sell Aussie CHF, it looks good as well, but just the risk reward might not be as good back into the low. Roughly around to 2.6. I mean, they're pretty much the same thing, but I prefer Pound at the moment. So yeah, I'd go for Pound. But again, like I said, it's the same trade really. If you're selling Aussie CHF, you're pretty much selling Pound. Of course, in terms of Pound and Aussie, they may differ. So maybe one trade works a little bit better than the other, and we will know in hindsight which one would have been the better trade, which one would take profit faster. But for now, I do like Pound CHF. But they're both equally as good. It's just Aussie's pulled away a little bit further. Pound not as much. So yeah, if we close like this, I will take the trade. If you close like that, I will take the position. So yeah, I'll probably wrap up the stream a little bit quicker than usual, because I want to take that trade and I'll post it out on the Telegram and the Discord as well. So yeah. But actually, thank you for reminding me, because I completely forgot. Anyway, so US 30 and Euro Pound. So yeah, US 30 said you're in a short. I do have a short bias for US 30, but again, it's a bit more short term. We're trading at a nice high there, so I think that's a nice place for a short. I've also pointed out this area here is a nice place for a short as well. It just depends what price wants to do. Could sell off from here. It might want to push a little bit high to sell off from there. But I do think shorts look good in these areas. My only worry is I don't think we'll sell off for a very long time. So I'm looking at the daily chart here, and the market's still forming these higher lows and, of course, higher highs as well. So I'm very much still a believer that the bigger move for US 30 is to the upside. And, of course, with the big daily candle closure we've just had over here as well on the previous day, that's not the best sign either. So I think the shorts look good. You're in a nice place for a short. If you're wanting to short, you're at a good place for it. And if it doesn't hold, you've got another place up there just above us. But I've got a feeling we might push like halfway down, form a higher low, and then start pushing back up again. So manage the trade accordingly. But in terms of location, I think you're in a good place for a short, and you should see some nice profit in your direction. But keep up to date with the management side of things. And yeah, with Euro Pound, I haven't really focused on Euro Pound at all. Just conditions aren't really great. Yeah, weekly chart, it's been bearish, but this move has been too strong, so I haven't been looking for some shorts. I have talked about a bit of a pullback for us and then some buys. But I need price to come a lot further down than that. There's a nice low over there. Or high, I should say. But we could get a nice little retest, but we're still pretty far away. So yeah, with euro pound, not too sure about this one. Like I said, I still do have a bearish bias because of these major lower highs. But I'm not seeing a really good sell unless you want to take a bit more of an aggressive sell, which would be if we were to push back into the high and then take a short at the high. A bit more aggressive because you're trying to call the next top, but at the same time, this is a nice place for a lower high, and we could see a move down. And again, you're not necessarily looking for the complete move all the way back down to the low. You're just probably looking for another move back into this area, because if we do push up from here, that could be a really nice target, or maybe this if you want to be a bit more aggressive. But yeah, I think that's still a nice place for a short. Buys, again, I would wait for price to get here. So it's either we get there first for a buy or we get up there for a sell. But I'm not really liking where we are right now, especially for all that momentum. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with euro pound. But anyway, so pound CHF is looking pretty good. If it closes like it is closing now, I will look for a trade. Not look for a trade, I will take the trade like this. That was just above the high, and targets down here, but I will be trading stop loss anyway, so it's not really a target. Aussie CHF looking equally as good. Really, I would imagine a lot of the CHF pairs are looking similar. CAD CHF, you can see it's breaking out as well. Euro CHF starting to break up too. New Zealand CHF, yeah, so they're all breaking out. So again, it's a very similar trade here. The pound, the Aussie, the euro. It's just which currency pair will be better than the other. I'm not too sure. We'll just find out when it's been said and done. But yeah, pound looks the best, so I'm going to get in that one. But yeah, guys, I'm going to wrap up the stream a little bit early because I'll take the position and I'll post it in the Telegram. If you're not in the Telegram, get involved in the Telegram because I will post my setups there, and Discord as well. But guys, really appreciate everyone coming on. Thank you to my moderators as well. If you're not in the Telegram, it is linked in the description below. And if you're not in the Discord, make sure you're in Discord because it is at the top of the chat, pinned to the top of the chat. You cannot miss it. But yeah, guys, I do appreciate everyone coming on. Please drop a like on the stream if you have found it useful. Please subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy the content here. And do hit the bell as well so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future, because of course you will be notified. But guys, of course, the usual weekly analysis on the weekend. Stay tuned for that. But otherwise, I'll be back again next week with the stream. So have a good one, good weekend, and I'll catch you all in the next one.